Welcome, and thank you for starting this journey to a better working relationship with your boss. I'm thrilled to have you here for our first lesson in the course, Thriving Under Micromanagement, Your Path to Workplace Success. Today, we'll explore the world of micromanagement, breaking it down so you can spot and handle it like a pro. In this lesson, we'll uncover what micromanagement really is, identify key behaviors that characterize it, look into the psychology behind micromanagers, and understand its real-world impacts. By the end of our time together, you'll realize why recognizing and addressing micromanagement is so important for a healthy workplace. Think of micromanagement like a dark cloud over your workday, creating stress and stifling your potential. Once you're aware of it and understand where it comes from, you can start to disperse that cloud. This isn't just about theory. It's practical knowledge that can change how you work and interact with your colleagues. Let's get started and uncover the nature of micromanagement together. Ready? Here we go. All right, let's get into what micromanagement really is. Picture a manager who's always looking over your shoulder, asking for updates every 5 minutes, and nitpicking every tiny detail. That's micromanagement. It's when a manager tries to control everything you do, leaving you little room to think for yourself. So, why do we need to understand micromanagement? Because spotting it early can save you a lot of headaches. Knowing the signs helps you deal with it before it gets out of control. So what should you look for? Micromanagers usually ask for constant updates, focus on small details, and have trouble handing off tasks. But these aren't just random habits. They often come from deeper issues like insecurity, lack of trust, or the need to control everything. Understanding why micromanagers act this way can help you handle them better. Think of it like having a roadmap. If you can see these controlling behaviors early on, you're on the way to finding a solution. To start, we will explore the key traits of micromanagement, breaking them down step by step, enabling you to spot and tackle these patterns head-on. Let's break down the traits that define micromanagement. First up is the inability to delegate. Micromanagers hold on to tasks like they're the only ones who can do them right. It's like trying to juggle all the balls yourself instead of passing some to others. Next, we have excessive monitoring. Micromanagers need constant updates, checking in on you all the time. Think about someone right over your shoulder, watching your every move. That's it. Another trait is an obsession with minor details. Think about someone fussing over the color of a report's cover while ignoring the report's crucial contents. These behaviors develop over time, often because of insecurity or past experiences. They stick around because they go unchecked, creating a cycle of control and stress. People describing micromanagement often talk about it killing creativity and efficiency. Employees working under such managers feel stressed and undervalued. Is this something you have felt? You are not alone. Many people experience a micromanager at one point in their career. Recognizing these traits is key. When you notice a manager who can't delegate, monitors you constantly, or focuses on small details, you're seeing micromanagement in action. Knowing these traits helps you see how micromanagement affects your work and your team's morale. Understanding this better prepares you to deal with these behaviors and work towards a healthier environment. Next, we'll look at spotting micromanagement behaviors in your daily work life. Recognizing the key signs of micromanagement is like having a special lens to see your workplace dynamics more clearly. Think about a manager who simply can't let go of control. They handle every task themselves because they believe no one else can do it right. Sound familiar? This inability to share responsibilities is a classic micromanaging behavior. Another sign is when they constantly need updates. They have to be involved in every small detail, almost as if they can't function without knowing everything that's happening. And let's not forget the excessive monitoring. Think about a manager who watches your every move, like a hawk hovering over its prey. It's smothering and makes the work environment feel heavy, doesn't it? Spotting these behaviors early is essential. Catching them soon can help reduce stress and keep morale up. By being aware, you can come up with ways to deal with it and maintain a better relationship with your manager. Let's bring this to life with a real-world example. Meet Emmy, whose boss Jane double-checks her work and insists on being copied on every email. Jane's style makes Emmy feel restricted and undervalued. Jane would also take a document while it was being worked on, still in draft form, and critique it as if it was a final draft. Can you feel Emmy's frustration? Recognizing such behaviors is a crucial first step. It helps you start to see these patterns more clearly, which we'll explore further in the next section. Just like spotting storm clouds before a downpour, knowing these warning signs lets you prepare yourself better. Ready to see how these behaviors play out in real-world scenarios? Let's move forward and explore practical ways to observe micromanagement in your daily work life. It is time to put you into the equation. Think of a time when you're in the middle of an important project, trying to do your best. Every few minutes, your manager comes by to check on your progress. It gets frustrating, right? This is a classic example of micromanagement. The constant interruptions and endless corrections can make you feel like you're running in circles, never able to focus. Then you're trying to write a report, and your manager keeps hovering over your shoulder, pointing out tiny errors before you've even finished your first draft. It's like trying to draw a picture while someone else keeps grabbing the pencil. Over time, this kind of behavior can lead to stress, burnout, and a feeling of resentment. Now, think about a corporate office where this is the norm. Employees often feel their creativity is being stifled. Their good ideas are shot down before they can even share them. Or imagine a hospital where micromanagement means every decision gets second-guessed, causing delays that could affect patient care. Ignoring these signs of micromanagement can have serious consequences. High turnover rates, where people leave because they can't stand the working conditions anymore, become a big issue. The trust within the team breaks down, and the company's culture takes a hit, making everyone less productive and more unhappy at work. But here's the good news. Spotting these red flags early can make a world of difference. Awareness is your best tool to make a healthier work environment. This brings us to an important question. What makes someone a micromanager in the first place? Understanding the psychological reasons behind these behaviors is key to dealing with them effectively. Now, let's look closer into the mind of micromanagers. They usually show traits like insecurity, perfectionism, and a lack of trust in their team. Think of a puppet master pulling every string out of fear of mistakes. Insecurity drives this need for control. Picture someone spending hours adjusting minor details while ignoring the bigger picture. That's perfectionism in action, and it can be tiring. Then there's the constant watching, which comes from a lack of trust. Employees end up feeling like they're always being watched. So where do these traits come from? Sometimes it's past experiences, like previous failures or harsh critiques, that shape these behaviors. A work culture that demands perfect results can also grow these tendencies. Add personal history and upbringing into the mix, and you've got a strong recipe for micromanagement. But here's an interesting twist. Understanding these psychological traits can actually help us cope better. When we empathize with a micromanager's need for control or their fear of mistakes, we can communicate more effectively. Recognizing these traits isn't about excusing the behavior, but about finding ways to manage it. For instance, if your manager is a perfectionist, try presenting your work in stages, showing that details are being handled. If they're insecure, give regular updates to reassure them that tasks are on track. These small adjustments can make a significant difference. So, what's behind these traits? It often boils down to deep-seated fears like insecurity or past failures. Think about a manager who messed up a big project before. The fear of repeating that mistake can make them grab control tightly. This fear of failure shapes their leadership, making them overly cautious and detailed. But here's a silver lining. Understanding these patterns can transform workplace dynamics. When managers realize their tendencies, they can work on building trust and empowering their teams. It's like a chef learning to trust their sous chef, believing they'll do great work with less oversight. Future leaders, listen up. Embrace giving your team autonomy, allow space for creativity, and you'll notice a positive shift. By acknowledging your need to control, you can step back, creating a more productive and happier workplace. It's a powerful realization that fosters growth. Let's see how these insights play out in real-life situations. Let's bring this into the real world for a moment. Think about someone like Emmy, an employee working under a manager like Jane. Every day, Jane constantly checks on Emmy's work, needing updates on even the smallest tasks. This constant scrutiny isn't just annoying, it's incredibly draining for Emmy. You see, micromanagement creates an environment full of anxiety and pressure. When employees like Emmy feel overwhelmed and unsupported, they start dreading work. This dread leads to lower job satisfaction and higher turnover rates. But it doesn't end there. The suffocating atmosphere stifles creativity and productivity. When someone is always watching over your shoulder, you're less likely to think outside the box or take initiatives. You can see the domino effect, right? Projects slow down, innovation stops, and the entire team suffers. Real-world examples show us how entire departments lose motivation and unity because of one micromanager. This ripple effect impacts the company's overall performance. But here's the exciting part. Recognizing these behaviors early on can be a game changer. Being aware of these signs and taking timely action can save not only individual sanity, but also foster a healthier, more productive work environment for everyone. Think about navigating a maze without a map, feeling lost with every twist and turn. That's what working under a micromanager can feel like. Recognizing the signs of micromanagement is like finding a map. You start to see patterns, constant check-ins, reluctance to delegate, obsession over tiny details. By understanding these behaviors, you gain the power to navigate the maze efficiently. You can address issues before they become overwhelming, creating a healthier work environment. Now, it's not just about survival, it's about thriving. When you spot these signs early, you can create strategies to lessen the negative impacts. This early recognition allows you to adjust your interactions and foster a more balanced relationship with your manager. Think of it as learning to speak a new language. You bridge the gap, fostering better communication and trust. Moreover, identifying these signs can bring about wonderful changes in workplace dynamics. Picture a team where everyone respects each other's boundaries and autonomy. That's the synergy we aim for when we understand and address micromanagement. Next, let's explore how unchecked micromanagement affects you personally. It's more than just spotting the signs. It's about understanding the emotional and mental toll it can take. Ready to explore? Let's begin. Imagine for a moment that you're walking into work every day and your stomach is in knots because you feel like someone's always watching. That's what life under micromanagement feels like. Instead of aiming for excellence, you're just trying not to mess up. And this fear-driven environment stops creativity and innovation. Employees might be full of great ideas, but they hold back, scared of being scrutinized. Let's talk about the emotional toll. Imagine feeling anxious all the time, with stress piling up day after day. You start to feel undervalued, like you're just a part in a machine. This constant pressure can chip away at your self-esteem, leaving you demoralized and exhausted. It's like running on a treadmill that only keeps speeding up. Eventually, satisfaction with your job drops, and those passionate, driven team members might start looking for new opportunities. This isn't just a theory. Studies have shown that workplaces with high levels of micromanagement see increased anxiety and decreased job satisfaction. Picture an artist painting a masterpiece but being told exactly how to make every stroke. The end result? A bland, uninspired piece. The same thing happens in a workplace where micromanagement rules. People become too anxious to take risks or think outside the box, stopping creativity and growth. Recognizing these impacts isn't just about pointing out problems. It's about understanding the deep emotional and creative toll it takes. Up next, let's explore why awareness is the first step toward building a healthier work environment. Ready to learn how we can make positive changes? Let's begin. We've seen just how much micromanagement can impact employees' emotions and mental well-being. Recognizing this behavior is the crucial first step toward building a healthier work environment. It's like shining a light in a dark room. It helps everyone see what needs to change. Awareness is key because it gives us the power to address micromanagement effectively. For employees, knowing when they are being micromanaged helps them speak up and set boundaries. For managers, realizing their tendencies can push them to trust their team and delegate tasks more. Learning and training play a big part in this. By attending workshops and training programs, both employees and managers can spot the signs of micromanagement and understand its negative effects. This shared understanding opens the door for better communication and teamwork. Let's pause and think about this. Managers, are there tasks you could pass on to your team? Employees, do you feel you're being watched too closely? Reflecting on these questions can spark the change we need. Coming up next, we'll explore specific training programs that foster awareness and provide actionable strategies. Trust me, this journey towards a better workplace is just beginning. All right, let's bring everything together. We've talked about what micromanagement looks like, identified behaviors to watch for, and looked at the traits that drive it. We've also explored how it can harm productivity and morale and impact people's emotions. Understanding all this is important because it shows us how big and damaging micromanagement can be. The more aware we are, the better we can deal with it and reduce its effects. Next, we'll look into solutions, strategies, and tools to help stop micromanaging habits. Trust me, this will be a game changer for everyone in the workplace. Take a moment to think about your own experiences. Have you seen any of these micromanaging behaviors at work? Spotting them is the first step to a healthier work environment. Thank you for joining me in this first lesson. Don't forget to engage with the action steps, lesson notes, and worksheet provided. Together, we can create a better workspace for everyone. Let's move towards solutions.